Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates and some more information regarding Star Wars Battlefront 2. Today I'm actually going to be talking about leaks. I know I don't do that too much because I only want to touch leaks if we actually have any proof that they might be legit. And today we actually have two leaks to talk about. There's been quite a lot of very strange and not realistic leaks that, well, anyone with a brain can see that they're fake. But there has also been two different people with two different leaks that have shown to be possibly true, at least one of them. And I wanted to bring those up because they have gotten a lot of attention in the community. So I thought it was worth bringing up what information they had, why it might be legit and why it might not be legit. But keep in mind that everything in this video will be based off these leaks, so it's nothing confirmed, and something that's very obvious with this game is that things are changing pretty much all the time. So even if this was legit when the leaker got information, it could have changed by now. So always keep that in mind. But the first leak I wanted to talk about is from the user Martiger434, and he's not the actual leaker, but he received this in a random PM from a new account. So as you can hear, that is literally no proof that it's legit, and no one actually believed this because this was posted 2 days ago. But after the reveal yesterday, people realized that yeah, this is probably correct, because he did say that there was going to be a 2 versus 2 heroes versus villains mode. He did say there was going to be Starfighter Arcade. He did say there was going to be Lando, Skiff and Bausch Leia, and that's not really something you just guess out of thin air. So that gave this leak a lot of credibility, which is why I wanted to bring up everything that it said, because it is very likely that it's gonna be legit. But he did, however, say that the season was gonna start in June, so it does seem to be fairly outdated information that he had, because it obviously starts next week and not in June. However, he did say there was going to be a patch next week, so that could have been something that was changed very recently and it was supposed to start in June. But just to note that, yeah, this information is not super fresh. He did also mention that there's going to be heroes versus villains for Starfighters, which they did not reveal, as well as a multiplayer strike and blast maps, which I think is referring to the new world we're getting in June. And he also mentioned racing maps, which has kind of gotten everyone confused, and we're not really sure. He could just have accidentally said that, because a lot of things in this post, or actually in both leaks, are very bad grammatically, and seems like it's not a native English speaker who has written, so keep that in mind. I'm not sure if that racing maps actually has any truth to it. But what it then goes on to say is that a lot of these small updates coming out every month now are all to earn time before they can release Geonosis, because they want to make Geonosis the big and epic content drop of Battlefront 2. It seems like it's gonna come out in August according to this leaker, and there's gonna be different phases and not just a big open sand dune like in the movie. And he also mentions that Grevious will obviously be there, and he will apparently also have a couple of badass skins, which I'm actually quite surprised about, considering that we don't really see Grevious with a lot of different outfits. But I'm all for that. But beyond that, he doesn't say if Obi-Wan is going to be in there, although we can probably suspect that. He does also say that the developers are very eager to share details, but as always aren't allowed to do so because of stupid internal rules. He doesn't say stupid internal rules, but that's what I take away from this. This has been an issue for so long with Battlefront 1 and 2, to be honest, that they're not allowed to talk, and unfortunately that still seems to be the case. And he also says that it's the same sad story as with Battlefront 2015 and probably Battlefield 1 as well, where people are being moved over to other projects such as Battlefield 2018, and it's really a shame, because I feel like this is what saddens me the most. EA keeps committing to, we want to make this a live service game, but then they're like, nah, let's take the developers and put them on a new project that we can sell for a lot of money instead. Please commit, show that you can actually do a live service. Don't just butcher the team away with developers, because it's very obvious that developers are doing everything they can, and I kind of feel bad because they're obviously the people who do get a lot of the flack here, although they seem to, based on multiple leaks, not be getting all the resources they need, and they seem to be very understaffed. Although Ben actually did confirm that it's roughly 100 people working right now, and that's also something that the leaker brought up here, that they're working on a lot of different projects at once, where some of them might be released later. So it's not like they're doing, oh, now we're doing season 2, and then when we're done with that, we're starting to work on the next thing. But they're working on a lot of big stuff at the same time. So it's not just, oh, we worked on this for 6 months, if that makes sense. But that's according to the leaker again. And another thing he did confirm was that Criterion and Motive are no longer working on the game, which was kind of officially confirmed actually, because someone tweeted at Criterion and thanked them for Starfighter Assault Arcade, and they responded saying it's actually DICE who made that, which kind of shows that Criterion are no longer on that game. And I mean, Motive made the campaign, so it's not that strange that they've stopped working on the game. And another thing that he confirms in this leak is that apparently there's a huge list of bugs that they have, like a massive bug tracker, and they simply just don't have the resources. They just don't have enough people to actually fix them all. So they're trying to prioritize the more severe bugs and fixing those, whereas there's some very advanced bugs that everyone in the community knows about, but they just don't have enough resources to fix it. And that's also something that really makes me sad, because it again has to do with them not getting enough manpower to actually pull off a proper live service experience. And he also says that the season next month will not have any new heroes, no new weapons, no new vehicles, and no new star cards, which doesn't seem to be a surprise to anyone, but it's the unfortunate truth, really. Both probably a combination of them being understaffed and putting all their efforts to Geonosis, which I don't mind that. I would love to get a massive Geonosis drop. That's going to be awesome, but it's obvious that they don't have enough power to create the content that we want at this moment, according to this leak. Again, it's a leak, so don't take it as facts. But he does again confirm that there will be a new planet and maps from that coming in the June update as well, which they kind of officially confirmed already. But that's all about this leak, and I think a lot of the stuff in there is believable, so I never take leaks for granted. But I definitely think that's legit stuff, simply because there's no way he could have guessed the kind of things he did with Heroes vs Villains 2 vs 2, Starfighter on Arcade, and the skins. But if you move over to the next leak, that's actually something that's a little bit more complicated, because it's from a guy who calls himself Battlefront Skin Leaks on Reddit. And the first thing he did was 2 days ago, before the reveal, posting a big list of all the skins that's going to be available, such as more human heads, alien heads, Celestin skin from a challenge, Luke Bespin with his yellow jacket as well, Ray masked scavenger, and he does then bring up the Bausch skin that will come with extraction on Jabba's palace here. So that's makes it a little bit realistic, I guess, but again, they haven't confirmed extraction. But he also says that there's gonna be an unmasked Bausch skin that will be epic instead of legendary, and that's also something they have not released. And he also confirms, both in this post and in some of his other posts, that the Hut Slayer, or also known as the Slave Leia skin, is being worked on and considered. And this is actually something Ben went out and said that that's not true, they're not doing that. And regarding that, they aren't really allowed to comment on leaks, and he has said that multiple times. And I think that he and DICE probably comments a little bit on things that are not right, because they want to just clarify this is bullshit. Whereas if it's legit, they keep quiet. For instance, that leak I just brought up that seemed very likely, they haven't officially responded to that as far as I know. But this leak that I'm talking about right now, they have responded with saying that there's a lot of bullshit in his posts and that they're not working on the Hut Slayer skin. So I am not at all convinced that the stuff that this guy is talking about is legit, because the things he brings up you could very easily make up and then claim, oh, half of it was correct. Well, good job, it's not that hard to guess the future. But I still wanted to bring it up and kind of give you a very small overview over the entire thing, because he has posted quite a lot. And if you continue that skin list, he says that there's going to be clone customization with the solo DLC, so maybe that's coming next month. And then of course Han and Lando will get legendary skins. Again, anyone can guess that. But he also says that Chewie will get a skin with C-3PO on his back, which will be a legendary skin. And if that's true, well then this leak definitely has a lot of legitimacy, because that's a little bit trickier to guess. And then he says that a helmetless Stormtrooper skin for Finn will be arriving, and that battle damaged Vader is on the bucket list but isn't currently a priority. It will eventually come out this year. So that was the initial post I made 2 days ago, and that's basically what he said. So the only thing that makes this potentially true is that he brought up the Bausch skin and so on. But if we then go over to his big leak about the current state of the game and so on, I want to bring up some points here, because he goes into a lot of details for some things. So, oh, they might change the battle point thing, or they might change that. And those leaks I don't really feel necessary to bring up, because first of all, those things pretty much change day by day. So going into detail for that doesn't make sense. But it's the overall thing here that the impression I get from him that I want to bring up, because it's like most people thought. The EA executives, according to him, basically have given up on the game in terms of revenue, and that's why they're not giving DICE any funding at all for future content, so they're really struggling to get the manpower they need, and everyone's being shifted over to other game projects, like the other leak said. They have a lot of half-finished content in the back burner, such as Droidicus, Grevious, Obi-Wan, Geonosis, and all that kind of stuff that he says in the leak Dennis wasn't wrong about when he brought that up or when he teased that earlier this year, but it's simply been put on the back burner because they've had to work on other stuff and they don't have enough people to work on all of it at the same time. So it says that it's a very limited team that's working on the current content, and that's why they can only do these small updates. And it's a very sad reality when you read this, but he also says that it's far from over. It's not like the game is gonna be stopped supported. He says that it's gonna be supported for a while, even though it might not be from a lot of people. But he also brings up that this month and the next month is going to be the kind of test for this game, and that's why they're pushing out so many new skins, because he's saying that this game could get a lot of funding if the skins sell well. And so far they've only released a handful of skins, so I don't think they can judge it from that. And again, this information could be old, but once they start pushing out these legendary skins next month, I think that's what's gonna decide the future of this game. And that's what he says here, that they could get more funding if the skins sell well and EA sees, okay, this game can actually make some money, let's give them the resources they need. And as much as I understand that, I still think it's wrong by EA, because yeah, you can't keep the game forever with 150 or 200 developers if you don't make money, sure, but you have committed to a live service product, and if you screwed up the monetization at first, well then that's your problem. You screwed that up, you still owe us the live service treatment that you promised, and then after a year or something, if you don't make any money from the game, sure, you can tune it down. But now we're just half a year from release, so I think they should just give DICE what they need to make a full-on live service to prove we can do this. We don't need premium or paid DLC. Give them the resources to show we can do this, and then you can see, is it profitable? Because I think Star Wars fans are willing to pay a shitload of money for skins, considering we like to pay a shitload of stupid things like collectibles and things like that. So I really think it has potential, and the next couple of months will definitely prove that. But yeah, that's basically it about that leak. But it does also bring up some weird things like the Hut Slayer skin again for Leia getting an extra ability where you can throw that kind of chain like Roadhog to drag Boba Fett down from the sky. And that's again where I think this leak starts to go a little bit out of touch. Because literally 2 days earlier he says that Hut Slayer is potentially being considered, and then 2 days later he makes this post saying that Hut Slayer will be a game changer, the first hero ability swapping star card, and you'll be able to drag down Boba from the sky. So we basically from 2 days it goes from it's being considered to giving a full out explanation on how it's gonna work, and then Ben comes out and says they're not working on the Hut Slayer skin at all, it's not being in work. So that's why I think you should take this second leak with a very big grain of salt. It's definitely not confirmed to be legit. However, the things I brought up regarding microtransactions and them not making any money, that could very well be true even if this leak isn't legit. Even if you made this up, I think it does come down to how much the skins sell. Simple as that, because they expected so much money from those loot boxes and that was all stripped. But yeah, I hope I made this very clear. The two leaks, why the first one seems very legit, why the second one seems to have a lot of bullshit in it, but still maybe some truth to it. And I hope you can make your own mind based off this. I will link to both the leaks in the description below, and you can make up your own mind. But I urge you to not put too much emphasis onto at least the second leak, since there is a lot of things there that contradicts reality, so to say, whereas the first one is probably more legit. But that brings this video to an end. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.